Before I can explain to you the change that we went through, I need to give you a little bit of a background about who we are and what we do. We are a pharmaceutical company, and our department is the U.S. Medical Affairs. What we do is once a drug has been indicated for one value or a positive thing, it is launched. And then post-launch, my team works with researchers all over the country to find out how the drug is doing in the field and other benefits that that drug may have, or ways to get a bigger benefit from the one indication that they were looking at already. Our group is divided into 3 subgroups. Research is one of the subgroups, and that group is made up of study managers who contact and work with academic institutions and physicians who are wanting to conduct research using our compound. Once those studies are complete, our publication group works with the physician to provide publication support so that the physician can submit and get those results and his or her paper published in a major journal. The third subgroup is the Medical Education and External Affairs group, and they provide grants to all sorts of educational foundations who are trying to raise awareness about the disease state, but also they help make available any of the studies that are published. The problem at the start was that each one of these subgroups had its own systems and databases and ways of tracking that information, so that if someone wanted to understand what was going on in the whole group, across the group, and in between the group, they couldn't do it. There was no transparency, and this made accountability difficult. And when it came time to figure out how we could do things faster, no one knew just where to push. Everybody in the group works very hard, and so they were all operating under the belief that if they just work longer hours or work harder, they would get better at doing what they're doing, and the cycle times would come down naturally. Our idea was to build a system that would pull the data from all the different silos and put it in one system in a way that compares apples to apples, so that someone could then be able to see how things connect and where the opportunities for improvement were. Using Cotter's 8 steps as a framework, we did a very good job at explaining and getting across the urgency of coming up with this new system. We also did a good job of building an inclusive group of stakeholders so that everybody's voice and gains and pains that they wanted the system to solve could be heard. We did a good job at articulating the design and spelling that out as a vision to external stakeholders who had influence over the success, like our VP and our directors who would approve the funding. In fact, we did a good job all around through step 4 with getting everybody's buy-in. Where we fell down and what created resistance was in the category of creating quick wins. One of the keys to the whole system being successful is the ability to get the data out of the system in a format that made sense to the different stakeholders. That was a separate project overseen by a separate group, and that got into a quagmire, and as a result, the people using our system began to resist because it meant that they had to do double work to keep putting the data in their old systems so they could get the reports that they needed, until which time our reports got developed in the new system. Another issue that we faced had to do with step 5, empowering for action. At the beginning, users could input their bugs into the Jira bug reporting system, and the support team would address them quickly and effectively. Then the leadership changed on the development side, and the new system required that all bugs first be reported to a point person who would then enter them into the system, and then they would be the one that would interact with the development group. The result was that it took more time to get issues resolved because it just took longer to get them into the system. This caused the user base to stop reporting issues and just resorting to their old ways of doing things until someone else figured out how to fix the system and told them it was back up and running. A final organizational contributor to Resistance was that the VP that we had started with left the company, and the new VP didn't quite catch the vision of the system that we were trying to build. Our budget was tightened, and that combined with some of the issues that I already described caused the usage of the system and the value of the system to be called into question.